It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's SpeedForce Racing Night, and welcome everybody to GP2. My name is JB, and I'm filled in the commentary box with another driver who I've normally tied up. Today, he walked in voluntarily. It's Mr. Bentley himself, AJ. How are you tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready for some good action in GP2, definitely.
Yeah, it always is one of the best leagues you can look at for racing. So, let's run through the championship standings. As they stand after the last race in Canada, we have T. Jonas still, after a poor result in Canada, on the top step, ahead of Lee Nell. Then Diabush in P2, in P3, this has already started well, and Ice Bolt in P4. Dennis Farfborough in 5th, and Gave Me Things in 6th. Smelly Badger in 7th, and Widelow Billy in 8th. Fredo in 9th, Matey Boy in 10th. Invader Zippo is just outside the top 10 in 11th. The Devil's Armpit is in 12th. The Pirate is in 13th. And Blood and Sands is in 14th. Just Mikey is in P15 and Sigard is in P16. Porge is in 17th. Spark Bobster is in 18th. And Pasley and Alson Senegal are yet to score. So, AJ. The French Grand Prix track. You raced around here on your birthday and you won it. I mean, that's no bigger prize than racing around a track you never raced at, is it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I've been practicing quite hard on this track, considering it's a new one for the 2018 calendar. So yeah, no, it felt really good to win it on the other league. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do tonight.
Definitely will be interesting, and as normal, we're bringing you live on YouTube. So take that, Sky. So tonight we're bringing the ultra soft tyres, the super soft tyres and the soft tyres, and we may even see the intermediate and the full wets be taken in, and it'd be fantastic to see that. We're at Le Castellet, got that right, how's the think, and it's got 15 turns. It is a 3.651 mile long track with a track difficulty of medium, though hard if you decide that you don't want to run enough wing. The lap record holder is unknown because I can't be bothered to go and Google who got the lap record around France this season, because it's probably Lewis Hamilton. The pit lane here is rather interesting because it's basically a 90-degree corner right, and yeah, you have to pray not to hit someone in that. Please don't. It's a whole lot of a mess, and don't try and overtake someone down there.
Can do that one.
Do someone else, but I can't mention his name. So, France, and I love that little visual outside of the starter's box there, don't you?
The what, sorry?
The visuals as the camera, the pictures click through. It showed a picture of the through the starter's box at the garages.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's a really good image. I like stuff like that. It's really cool.
It's a lovely, and the pit lane here arguably should have been faster. It's another 37-mile-an-hour pit lane. It arguably should have been faster for the length of the pit lane it is, but I think because of the width of it, it's okay at 37 miles an hour, or whatever that is in kilometers an hour.
I think it makes it really interesting. I've seen in league races while we've been here that people have had problems slowing down to that speed to get into the pit lane during races. But also, people have been trying to catch a draft on the back of someone else, not realising they're going to pit, and ended up slamming into the back of them. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting, tricky pit lane for them tonight.
Especially here, because you're coming out the final corner, you're going out wide, as I forget words, and then you want to snap straight into the pit lane. If someone's on your inside, that someone in the inside is in trouble. That's like a lorry trying to turn into another lane, and you're sat in the other lane. But still, tonight it's going to be fun. Ooh! I have some interesting news.
Oh, yeah?
Wet to dry race.
Wet to dry race, eh?
Ooh, it's just got interesting here in France. To see a car leaving the pit lane already. It looks like it to be Renault. I hope it's Hodge. No, it's not. I am awful. It doesn't look like it's Renault then. Someone further down. We'll wait to see who it is on the screen. See the little Poor car logo. So, I will ask if we're looking at Pasley now on track. Do you know the little interesting facts about Paul Ricard?
They put a lot of gorillas around here last time F1 raced here.
Yeah, that was that was down to a French artist, sculptor, who wanted to make the French Grand Prix his own. Though that trophy was horrific.
I quite like the monkey. I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't seen if anyone wins in this game. I can't remember. It'd be great if they had put it in the game.
No, I don't think they have. I think that would be pretty cool though.
Yeah, DLC pack for different trophies. But no, what's awesome about this track, it was built as a test circuit, and that's why there's little to no gravel traps. They have this abrasive paint to catch the cars, the blue being to slow it down, the red to be to stop it completely on the game that hasn't exactly transferred over. But they don't want major gravel traps on a test circuit purely because if you get stuck in the gravel, it's very expensive to drag an expensive racing car out of the gravel, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got all those rocks and stones and everything bashing up on the cars, and these cars are brittle as it is without worrying about that as well. So yeah, it's a good reason to not have it.
It's a wonderful circuit, and obviously this is the first French Grand Prix since 2008, so a good 10 years passed since the French Grand Prix was held. And the pit exit here, we haven't really touched upon that. That is difficult. If someone's coming out the pits, obviously at a reduced speed versus you're coming down at racing speed, you've got to be aware, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, there has been a few instances of coming out the pits in someone else's racing line, and yeah, they're exactly the same place, so it is very tricky. People are going to have to watch out for that.
I'll tell you what another factor is about this race, is overheating the rear tyres quite significantly.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's very easy to overheat the tyres just because of the fact that the corners that you're coming out of, you are still turning as you're coming out the corner, which means that the rear tyres are going to grain across the track as well as forward while you accelerate.
It's really interesting. I'll tell you what, Pasley's got a bit of trouble here. He's got a Ferrari, I think that's Devil's Armpit, the 66 car, ahead of him. Yeah, it is. He's got to get out of the way sharpish. He's giving you a nice toe, but he's also going to be wearing his tyres to absolute Mary, and that's gone a little bit wrong there for Devil's Armpit. He's trying to stay out of the way, but obviously this track, he doesn't get you much. Oh, he's gone slower than that. That has not gone well for Pasley.
I don't know whether that was just a glitch because he seems to have all his front wing, but yeah.
I hope that was just down to lag, and Matey Boy needs to watch out what he's doing, and he's just blocked this lap.
Yeah, I think he probably has had it all this lap to everybody getting in his way.
Here's T. Jonas, championship leader. Fastest man on track is C. Pasley though, but the championship leader is about to cross the line. Has he got a cleaner lap rather than running in the back? And people know he hasn't, by quite a margin as well.
Yeah.
But Spark Bobster takes it with a 1:31.3. Right, but what happened in that situation there? I mean, Pasley did the right thing of not getting flustered, but it's clear that those cars were not looking up behind him, was he?
Yeah, definitely. I think in situations like that, you just have to take it on the chin, go for another lap. I mean, if it's a wet to dry race, it means they're not starting on these tyres anyway, so you can go for another run, hopefully as long as he's got enough fuel to do it. But it is a bit frustrating when that is the rules of the race, and I hope those guys get at least a warning for what they did there, because the fact that they should be getting out the way for the quicker cars.
I definitely will do. I assume the stewards will look at that because it was caught on stream as well. But just something I want to pull off on. We only know that people are saying it's wet to dry. We don't know as we're watching Blood and Sands go for a nice spin. We don't know how wet to dry it is. Now, we had a situation in Season 2 in Austria where what happened was we all thought it was going to be an intermediate start back on the 2017 game. We all thrashed our tyres to absolute, within an inch of their lives, came onto the grid. Oh no, it's dry enough to run inters. It's dry enough to run slicks even.
Yeah.
So
no, it's definitely close. When you have stuff like that, you've got to make sure it's raining enough, things like that. But yeah, there has been instances of that, which is crazy.
Look at that. T. Jonas, championship leader, goes for a 1:30.7, almost, what was that, about 5/10 quicker than Spark Bobster. But it might be interesting and prudent to say, how wet is it going to be at the start? We are unsure and don't know, because a few drivers are going for the approach of, let's destroy these tyres, and to be fair, I probably would too. Whereas other drivers are thinking, okay, let's go conservative and go for the super soft tyres versus that.
Yeah, Wide Load Billy's done well with a 1:31.6, and he's on the super soft tyre, which means he's the hardest. So if they do end up starting the race on the dry tyre, on a wet track, it means that he'll have the advantage, because the fact that the harder tyre will last better in a wet condition.
It definitely will do. Here's Lee Nell just coming down onto the fast fast right-hander, minimal steering needed for that corner, and then this corner, much like Japan turn 1, you really want to brake much later than you want, and it's terrifying.
Oh, Zippo just getting it all sorts of wrong, going through the final sector there. And he had a good line, he just went a bit too wide and ended up losing the back end of the car.
Brandon Sands has retired early. That's in the pit lane. So maybe, as he now clouts the curb, the other Toro Rosso coming over across, and he falls into the pit lane too. As you see Mercedes almost nailing Zippo in the background as iSport starts his lap, and then his teammate pulls into the pit lane. Obviously, there was quite a noticeable issue when this game first came out with the cars, not the cars, sorry, with the track, and that involved being able to cut the entirety of Sector 1.
Yeah.
As Blasmak, look at that. Good lap time on the Ultrasoft tyres. Oh, as you see, there's the issue there with the pit lane. What happens with Force India popped out of the pit lane, totally within his right, and then suddenly there was Blasmak coming down at full speed, and it almost ended in an accident. But the Force India well aware of what was happening, so good job there from Spark Bobster. Here's iSport. But yeah, hopefully that's all been sorted out. And the track limits are still a bit questionable around this track. Hopefully it's all okay. So Lee Nell has just commented in the chat, urging the Sauber mechanics to suddenly not have a car working for the race. I bet I can just tell you, I don't think he's talking about Alsan's car.
No, I can't imagine he will be. Yeah, it looks like T. Jonas has been doing a bit of practice on this track to get a time like that. Almost, what is it, 5/10 clear?
I think
second place.
I think our good friend Havlor, who had a bit of an issue, bit of a nightmare around the last race in Canada, he has been a bit frustrated. He was involved in a crash that was neither his fault or Matey Boy's fault. What happened was there's an extension to the hitbox of a wall between the gap where a marshal would stand at the on Canada's back straight. Matey Boy hit that wall and spearing into the Sauber, which then caused the Sauber to get a bit flustered, having to avoid the Renault, but then speeding into the pit lane. Now, that penalty was not removed from him for the stewards, as they believed that he could have slowed down the car if he just braked a little bit earlier. They even consulted an outside steward who has steward on many different racing games, and he believes that, yes, that could have been possible. So I think Havlor is trying to rekindle what he's had earlier on this season. He hasn't had a win since Australia, and I think that's maybe frustrating him a little bit less tin cups in his cabinet than he wanted. So, who are we looking at here? This is Farfborough, who's on his first initial lap in the Red Bull, going a little bit over the curb. Hopefully that hasn't invalidated a lap. The Red Bull driver running a nice alternate design helmet to what I would have run. I probably would have had yellow on top versus that. But that's actually a nice helmet. See me judging helmets. I always judge you on the helmets. There's 10 minutes left to go to the session. AJ, are you enjoying qualifying so far?
I'm enjoying qualifying. I'm on board with Spark Bobster at the minute. He's had quite a good lap so far. Being quite neat and tidy over the curbs and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what he can do. He's already in fourth with a 1:31.3. But let's see if he can go any quicker than that. Coming around the last corner now.
Oh, is it raining? It's raining!
Yeah, I can see a few drops of rain in the air.
The rain has come early, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa! Mega lap!
1:30.5 just as it starts to rain.
Is that the killer? Because T. Jonas has just come through the first couple of turns now onto the main straight, and he must be thinking, "Ah, no!" To see if he can improve. He's right on the cusp.
Leading the France pole at the minute. That's incredible. Really good lap time from him. Just a really clean lap. Hit all the apexes like he wanted to, and yeah, that's what you get for it.
Good job for the new boy in the Force India, replacing Jed Rios, who unfortunately decided to part ways with the league, though she was meant to make an appearance in last night's Classic League, which was a rousing success, and that will be aired. I have the footage. I will be voiceovering that footage in a few days, possibly tonight. But T. Johnson is not quick enough as a reaction time. He goes a tenth quicker, but not enough. All the drivers coming out on the ultra soft tyres are in a deep load of trouble now. There's 5 minutes left to go to session, and the track can only get wetter right now.
Yeah, I'm on board with Invader Zipper at the minute. He's put quite a nice lap together on the super soft tyres. He went out on the ultra soft tyres to start with. He found that the super soft are more to his liking. Let's see what he can do on those. Can he get himself up from 6th?
Oh!
No, he can't.
Second down, and is that it? Sectors 1, 2 and 3 had yellow flags for just a moment. That's all gone. T. Johnson retired. He doesn't think you can improve from qualifying. Lee Nell, the 2 championship contenders, have both retired from qualifying, believing they can't do any better than they currently are. And I think that's a good shout right now.
Just literally, like right at the last moment, it was raining as Spark turned the final corner, and just beautiful lap. Definitely, he'll be super happy with that.
Be interesting. So, as we assume, as Porter's retired, he knows he can't do any better. As you see now, Devil's Armpit pulls into the pit lane, braking harshly to make sure he hits the time. See, Matey Boy now cruising to get out the way of someone who's on a fast lap. The Devil's Armpit has retired a few other drivers. So, we know it's going to be a wet start. That negates having to use one of the compounds, both compounds, isn't it? You can just go from wet to dry, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a crossover period, and it's who finds what faster. It's still knowing how grippy this track is when it goes from green into the zone with the kind of rubber laid down, and just how quickly they can go from inters to the ultra soft being quicker.
It will be interesting. See, Pasley is retired in sector 1. That looks like it may be an accident. We'll have a look. Nova Haas is still running around. He sat right on the apex, and the Renault is not going to forgive him for that one. And that's going to be frustrating for Smelly Badger. But that's a good qualifying for Smelly Badger, being up there in 5th.
Definitely, no. 135, 131.3. Less than a second off Spark. Just sitting nicely there. Wide load Billy's deciding, I think he's going to go out on inters. Probably just to do a bit of practice before the race, just to get used to it. I don't think he'll be able to go anywhere near his competitive lap time on the ultra softs.
I don't think so.
The super soft.
I mean, Icebolt is currently out on track on the set of ultra soft tyres, and the young man, I don't think is going to be able to go quicker. I don't know. It's not him or anything. It's the car, obviously, and it's just in these conditions, it's going to be interesting because that fast right-hander has always been flat, and it takes a while to get to it being confident enough to try it flat in the wet. DRS has been disabled, and that's it. That is the killer for qualifying when it goes wet.
Yeah.
So
retired on the ultra soft.
Whoa! Blasmak's in the wall. Blasmak in the wall after a big spin, but he's still going. I tell you what, you could not have had a bigger incident. And I tell you what, I just had another message from our resident riverman down in Toro Rosso, Lee. He just said there was no mention of rain. This rain has come out of nowhere.
Oh wow.
Well, they said they wanted to make the game more unpredictable. They have.
Yeah, definitely. So much so that even the weather can't. The weather doesn't know what it's doing.
Ferrari strategy, brought to you by the weather.
Yeah, exactly. If only Ferrari could control the weather.
Alright then, AJ, I will ask you very politely to take us through the qualifying order for tonight, as obviously we will not be seeing any cars come on track.
Yeah, sure. So Spark currently in pole. I don't think he's going to be beaten with 130.5. We've got T. Jonas in second, followed by Blaz MK in third. Wide load Billy in fourth. Smelly Badger rounding up the top 5. Invader Zippo just missing out the top 5 in the 6th position. Matey Boy in 7th. Naibush in 8th. Sigurd in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Devil's Armpit. In 11th is SFR now. 12th, Apple. 13th is Icebolt. Racing Podge. 15th is Just Mikey. 16th is Blood and Sand. 17th is C. Paisley. And 18th in last position without setting a lap time so far is Farfra.
Tell you what, that must be the kicker for Farfra. Also, thank you for taking us through the orders of the 18 cars we have running tonight. But that must be the kicker, to go into qualifying, think you can do a lap, and then it not just coming together. Enough that you don't even get a lap in. That Farfra must be really gutted right there.
I mean, sometimes that happens, sometimes you just together. It's just a case of recomposing yourself, getting ready for the race, and just making sure that you can make as many overtakes as possible without losing your front wing, really.
Definitely will be. It will be an interesting session to see what all the drivers can handle. I'm currently watching Matey Boy, who's out on the intermediates now, and this track is difficult in the wet. It goes up a couple of notches in the difficulty scale because obviously there's not much grip anyway. It's quite a greasy circuit in general, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty green in terms of all the different circuits they go to around the world in F1, because of the fact that they haven't really come here apart from for testing. But yeah, it should be very interesting to see what it handles like in the wet.
I mean, I've done a wet to dry race in career mode around here in a stock standard McLaren, and it was difficult. Not saying it was anything other than that, but it was quite entertaining. The real kicker will obviously be turn 1 and 2 being that chicane rather than an actual turn, and then coming down here where Matey Boy currently at, and it's difficult. Like getting the back end right. All the people who are running dry setups are in a bit of trouble right now, because this track is so different in the wet.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Zippo sent me a message saying that he's comfy here, so starting from sick, starting in the wet, let's see what he can do. It should be very interesting.
I think he's yet to have a podium or a win in this league. I know elusively I'm still yet to get a win in any form of league racing, which is frustrating me a little bit.
Well, you never know.
Lots of things, and as we're watching Matey Boy catch a big bout of oversteer there. A little bit from our dear pole sitter now, Spark Bobster. He said he doesn't know how he got pole position, and he's going to be nervous coming off the line. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, I heard the heart pounding in my ears when I was in 3rd place in Spa in season 1. I then went on to finish in the same position, but qualifying I've never been strong at, and then to qualify so high, it was unheard of. I had the pulse going through my ears. I couldn't hear the game. I mean, AJ, you're a regular winner. You win quite regularly. Does that feeling ever go away?
I think it gets dimmed down after a while. I think it's being able to cope with that feeling and just being able to control it. I think I get that feeling most when I'm kind of alongside cars, or a car's behind me and trying to overtake me, or I'm trying to overtake another car, because of the fact that you just want the move to work, you just want to be able to get it right. But yeah, it's always going to be there, but it's how you control it and master that feeling.
It definitely is, and it's a feeling I'm yet to master, as I have come out of retirement for the Classic League. If you want to see how that race went, we'll have to wait for the video to go up. There will be no spoilers. Well, it might be later on in commentary. Not too sure yet. Might spoil it, might not do it. I probably won't, because I can't remember half the race myself. But still, Spark Bobster starts his only 2nd race in SpeedForce Racing from pole position, and that we're going to have all eyes on him for the start. So, as I get a BBC News update.
I want to bring up a quick topic before the formation lap starts. So, have you heard about the new Top Gear duo?
I have not. Was it Freddie Flintoff was one, wasn't it?
Freddie Flintoff and who's the guy from Take Me Out? Paddy McGuinness.
Paddy McGuinness.
Freddie Flintoff and Paddy McGuinness are the new couple who are going to be running Top Gear next year, or this year.
We do know that they'll be making out over the Top Gear cars then. As we're watching the formation that take place, we'll run through the grid in a moment. But really, Paddy McGuinness, of all people.
Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, that's almost as bad as when Vernon Kay took over Formula E, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like what is my life right now.
Well, then again, Formula E are getting KSI to do the first race in Saudi Arabia, so that's going to be even funnier.
Oh God, no way.
Yeah, well, you know, I like Formula E, but that's a bit of a wrong move. At least they still have Jack Nicholls and Dario Franchitti doing commentary. But so, also, if the Grand Tour are currently doing a competition, if you want to win tickets to go sit in the tent while they're doing filming, I'd love to go and do that. But tell you what, Jeremy Cox would be a bit intimidated by me, I think. And midway through the race, if there's a little bit, we will talk about the latest Formula 1 news, as we normally do. And here we go. Let's have a look who's on pole position. It's Spark Bobster for the first time in SpeedForce Racing in pole position, ahead of T. Jonas in P2, who's ahead of him on the road because, you know, T. Jonas has a mood. Then there's Blazmak in P3, a high position here for his new reserve driver, rookie driver, sorry. Then there's Wilo Billy in P4, good qualifying position from him, and P5 is Smelly Badger, the veteran in SpeedForce Racing. Invader Zippo, the man who is confident around this track, is in P6, and Mate Boy is in P7. In P8 is Dire Booster, Welshman, the first Welshman in the Ferrari. And then there's Sigurd in the McLaren in a red sandwich. I can't say that joke I was going to make earlier because that's not fair. That's not about Sigurd, it's about red sandwiches. Devil's Armpit is in P10, and in P11 is Lee Nell. Alsan is in P12, I'm going to try and cover this up because that joke was horrific. And in P13 is Ice Bolt. P14 is Racing Podge, and P15 is Just Mikey. P16 is... what's his name? Blood and Sand, and Pasley is in P17, and rounding out the field is Fastbret in P18. So the Red Bull's having a poor qualifying versus, look at that, all the way at the start is these guys. And I think if you remember the joke I made last night when we were talking about a certain part of the body in a pink sandwich, I don't think I should be repeated on stream.
No, it's not what you want to think of, runner.
Well, obviously today is going to be interesting. We've had news in Formula 1 we'll get on to midway through the race if it's interesting, but first we will get down to the grid for the 5 red lights that take us on to the first French Grand Prix in SpeedForce Racing. Lights are out, the drivers are away now. It's a good start from Spark Bobster, and he's got it absolutely nailed. He's flying away, and so's Lee Nell down at the back. Spark takes us through turn 1 alright, and then there is Smelly Badger in P3. He's absolutely mugged off, but no! Spark got it wrong, and T. Jonas into P1. Big crash involving a Ferrari. In the background is Diabush and Zippo. Zippo, who was really confident around this track, has had that knocked, but you still got time. He's just got to get it completely right. So, Spark Bolter has lost out from pole position. Sector 1, yellow flags. Who's that? Is that Devil's Armpit? Someone's had an issue. They're going side by side, the Devil's Armpit and Pasley contact their side pod. Oh, there's big issues here. Bit of a lag, and Spark Bobster's out. Spark Bobster is out of this Grand Prix. The pole sitter is out. What a frustrating movement from him, and he's going to be so annoyed with himself. You see everyone clamouring for positions into the first long braking zone along the straight, and you see everyone's right there, and Spark is going to be frustrated with that issue. And I'll tell you what, AJ, what are you looking at?
I think I'm looking at Devil's Armpit and C. Pasley at the minute because they look like they're inside each other. But I think it's just a glitch.
Whoa! Blazmak's got it all wrong with about to oversteer, and he's way offline. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but he's spinning! I don't know where you're from. Sorry, Blazmak is spinning absolutely round, and he is going to be thinking, what's happened there? And he's still spinning by the looks of it. Where is he? No, someone else has got it wrong by the looks of it. Lots of collisions, and that's what happens when you go offline at this circuit. There is no real casting line round here, and you've got to keep going as hard as you can. Iceball in P5, now up 9 positions. P4, sorry. What a good position for Mem. What a good start. Podge is out. Podge has gone for a spin as well. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend. He's way out of track.
I think just to I don't even know what to say. Just to re-comment on Spark Bobster's crash. I think coming out of turn 6, I think it is, just lost it probably just before the straight, too eager to get on the throttle, and I think he's just let the car go around and it's shot off into the wall.
And that is frustrating. You see Zippo is the first man in the pits, and he's going to be thinking, what happened there? As Diabush entered the pit lane after a big collision with his friend as well. They're pretty good friends, and they always said that they're racing very close to one another. And I think today they raced a little bit too close for the first time in SpeedForce, but no, Dia's carrying on.
Icebolt going up the inside of wide load Billy at the minute. Wide load just let him have the room, but Billy manages to brake really late. Going over the curb a bit, he's gone completely off track, but he's managed to keep that position for now.
See, Pasley seemed to have had a bit of an error coming onto the main straight, and obviously that's what happens, but he's managed to keep hold of one position. He's now trying to go down and round the outside on the wet part of the track, trying to get round the outside of Blood and Sands. He's done it. Blood and Sand trying to hold on, but he's done it. And Alsan Senegal gets a 5-second stop and go penalty, and Pasley's out. The Irishman got it all wrong, and he's out of the race. And that's 2 retirements in as many laps.
Yeah, Forsberg doing really well. Got past Sigurd on the main straight this lap. He's up 13 positions from the start of the race.
What a good showing, and that shows you've got to stay out of trouble in these conditions and pick your spot well. Pasley out of the session, understandably angry, and that, from what I saw, was no fault of his own at all. And, well, this is already started. And Smelly Badger in P2, he must have had an absolute dream. He's thinking, okay, I'm in a good position now. As I apologise, I've just got a notification telling someone's come online. Go away! And Wide Low Billy has been giving a 10-second corner cutting penalty. And, you know, don't cut corners. And you're in P3. Don't cut corners in P3. Come on!
Yeah, he must have just got it all sorts of wrong coming up turns 1 and 2 to go that wide. But it normally gives you a 3-second time penalty. So he must have just gone really, really deep into turn 1.
See, Smelly Badger is right there. Smelly Badger getting it wrong as well. Obviously no DRS in these conditions because it is way too wet. It'd be fun to see how they tried though. Breaking into the chicane. This chicane, obviously you can get it wrong if you don't have your driving line on. If you don't have your driving line on and you get it right, you're much better than me.
Yeah, mate boy just having a look on Devil's Armpit, seeing if there's anything doing, but he's still half a second back at the minute. Let's see if we can get him down this next straight, going into the right-hander.
Billy down the inside, sorry to interrupt you, mate, of the corner straight after the fast right-hander, pushing Smelly Badger out wide, no harm of his own, no. And Icebot was going to try and capitalise on this. Icebot was thinking, right, the Renault's offline, I can do this. He's going for it, he's going to try and do it. It doesn't look like Icebot's going to have enough tyre life, though, and Smelly Badger just slots back into P3, going, no, this is my podium and I'm staying with it.
Yeah, I'm guessing Smelly Badger must have made some sort of mistake, because Billy wasn't with him. He was about a second behind him.
He has been sat with him, actually, all of that lap.
Oh, has he? Oh,
yeah.
Right, my mistake.
But it'll be interesting to see what Billy does, if Billy can actually take this corner now. Farper is the fastest man on track. I've had a message, though. Sector 3, we have a spinning car. It looks like it's Mikey. Mikey is way out, but he's managed to get back on the track ahead of just behind Alson Senegal. And Diabush in the pit lane has got a 5-second speed stop and go penalty as the Ferrari pulls in.
First of many penalties that are going to be handed to drivers as soon as they're coming into the pit lane if they can't get down to that 37 miles per hour limit.
Definitely will be, and I have a little message from Spark Bobs in the chat, which made me laugh as you see Billy lagging just a bit. Smelly Badger, though, losing the rear end, the car snapping way off with oversteer. Diabush is on soft tyres. That has to be a glitch. As you see Icebot now pulling to the inside. He's going to try and make a move in these conditions, going right the way down the inside, braking hard into the chicane. And he's ahead of the Renault. The Renault pulling a conservative move, able to let the Mercedes go past. Now, just quickly onto Spark's message. He put, who put that wall there? Stupid European weather.
Yeah, bless him. He doesn't do very well in the wet, Spark. A lovely qualifying time, just so you know, just so it's recorded on stream. I was very, very impressed with that pole lap. But yeah, unfortunately, wet weather does not agree with him for some reason.
I tell you what. Ride Low Billy is cutting more corners than I am hairs when I'm trying to shave. I have a beard. That doesn't work. You see, that's what happens when you don't think before you speak. While we're going to try and ignore that is the fact that is Diabush actually on dry tyres, or is that a glitch? Oh God, he is.
I think it's still too wet for dry tyres.
Ferrari have made a drastic error in their strategy, though they're not unknown to them this season.
Yeah, no, that's a definite Ferrari move right there from Babu.
And the Welshman is going to be frustrated if what may have happened, it might be as innocent as he's accidentally knocked the controls, and that's happened quite a lot to me personally. No yellow flags though anywhere right now, and it seems that it's just drivers. It's whoever stays on the island best right now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think Safapa's now come into this situation for the top 4. It's now a top 5 fight. And if they go any slower, I think it'll be a top 6 fight. So can get them.
Look at that!
Lovely move from Farfa, and Smelly Badger just got it all sorts of wrong coming out of the corner. He did exactly the same thing that Sparks did, but just managed to catch it a little bit better.
I tell you what, he woke me up with that move. See, Diaboost pulls into pit lane again. He has a 10-second penalty, and that is just going to get frustrating. At least now, you're seeing on board with Racing Podge, the Swedish driver, sorry, lining up a move on just Mikey. But I tell you what's getting more interesting. Wide Low Billy is getting close to T. Jonas. I'm getting about to lag off the Renault, so I'm not able to follow him on board. And it doesn't look like there's been a move yet. And I tell you what, Farfborough, he's scything through the field right now. His setup must be a dawn to both of them, both wet and dry conditions.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like both Icebot and Farfborough are having the rub of the green here. Sort of qualifying, they haven't done very well, but they've worked their way through the field very methodically and strategically, and now they're right on the back of first and second.
T. Jonas is under pressure from the Williams of Wide Low Billy. Billy trying to get past the championship leader. This is the best chance for T. Jonas to get another win under his belt and to extend his championship standing over his rival Lienel, who's going to try and make a move on Sigurd. He's down the inside and he passes the McLaren. No, the McLaren snaps back over and goes, this is my position, I'm not giving it up that easily, even though you're second in the championship. Oh, he's got it a little bit wrong though. Not T. Jonas, what's your name? Lienel trying to go down the inside of Sigurd, and Sigurd, it's just a brilliant defending right there, and Lee's going to be thinking, oh, for God's sake, give me a moment, please.
Yeah, I think the guys in front having to defend are going to be begging for dry conditions very shortly, because the fact that it's so difficult to think about driving in this weather, never mind defending from someone who's attacking behind you, and just making sure that you keep it on the track.
Lienel is ahead of Sigurd now, going into the braking zone. Who's braver, the Norwegian or the Britishman? The Briton is braver, and in all of this madness, Farfborough has passed. He is now from 18th on the grid in a podium position.
He has, yeah, just coming out of those the chicane in the middle of the straight. Icebolt just put his foot down the accelerator, and the wheels just spun up and sent him flying everywhere, and Farfborough just managed to make...
Lienel's got it wrong! He's got it all sorts of wrong! Sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but he's got it all wrong, and Sigurd's going, I'll have that position back, and I tell you what, matey boy, he's going to be joining in too. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend.
That's right. It looks like it's a good fight for 6th, 7th and 8th place. Right
it now is. And now the noisy pedal has affect Lee. Look at that.
You're going to let Mighty Boy go through and probably fuck again on this main straight. If you can get a good run now, Mighty Boy's just accelerated away from him there.
Here we go for the lead. Billy having a look. He's gone for a dive bomb. No, he set one up, but he's trying to look at that, and Havlor's not phased. The Sauber is snapping a bit, though. The Sauber is prepared for dry weather, clearly, judging by the way that that car is reacting in the wet. And look at that. Havlor, normally, by now, on lap 7, he's scampered away to about a 5-second gap. But look at this. He's right there, and he's keeping him honest. Look at this.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Sauber looked almost like a boat rocking through those corners there. It wasn't kind of dry tyres looking, is it?
No, it's not. This is going to be a while until dry tyres. I'm going to theorise if the rain stops coming down around lap 15, maybe lap 16 at the current rate of rain. But it isn't letting up, is it? Look at this.
Yeah, no, still seems to be quite a lot of rain. And at this stage, the tyres are going...
Billy's gone for it! He's gone for the lead! He's on the inside! T. Jonas is trying to hold around the inside, and Billy has passed! Billy is in the lead! T's going to try and come back at him, but it looks like Billy, the Williams, is in the lead! Is this going to be Williams' first win of the season? And dash T. Jonas' hope? No! He's sailing out wide! He's off the track! Oh, I'm yelling.
It looks like he stuck that position. He must have just got better traction off the curves on the outside.
Oh, contact! I think Farfra's hit his back.
Fighting the wheel. T. Johnson's just fighting the wheel, and he's really struggling to get that Sauber Alfa Romeo in a straight line.
The Alpha engine giving him no power, as you see the Renault powered, well, sorry, the Tag Heuer powered Red Bull as he starts to close up, or if they got Honda power in this league, we're not too sure yet. They're closing up, but it's not managing to pass him, and T's going to be ruining that mistake. It must have been just a bout of oversteer or something, a little bit too early on the noisy pedal, which has cost it.
I've got a really good pitch just off the second corner, all the way up to the back of Farfra, but just couldn't find a way past him there.
Yeah, just saw that as well. Look at this, the top four keeping everyone honest. And I tell you what, this will be Billy to be thinking, I've got to get away. I've got to go. This is where you separate the boys from the men, or the men from the women, or the females from the aliens, I don't know anymore, from in these conditions. And I tell you what, everyone's proving to be doing the best they absolutely can. Even Lee is struggling, and we know Lee is very good in the wet. He's about to line up a move on Sigurd. He's been frustrated by this McLaren for a while now. He's pulling down the inside. He's gone for a dive bomb, but not really one, as Sigurd has gone very deep, and you can get away with breaking deep at that corner.
It looks like Sigurd's just getting a better run out of the corner. It's like purchase on the tyres is going to be a massive effect. If you can't get the right amount of traction coming out of corners and you're not soft enough on the throttle, it just means that the driver in front of you is just going to pull away while you spin your tyres.
It is that, but Sigurd is being passed by the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso passing him. There's nothing between them, and the McLaren is being passed by its former engine, and it's going to anger Zach Brown just a little bit, and Franz Tost will be going, Just Mikey and Racing Pod. You have a McLaren. It looks like he's out. Where is he? He's in the wall. He's still going, though, luckily. So the McLaren gets back around. Here's the Devil's Armpit. Back in 10th place. And this is not giving us... The Devil's Armpit is pulling into the pit lane, I believe. That's for a new nose on the Ferrari. And he got it slowed down correctly. Well done. No, he's not. He's coming for a new set of tyres. Has he cooked his tyres already?
It might be possible.
It all
do wear for about 10 laps or something like that.
Yeah, and he has. They all have been pushing completely well.
Mm.
So, lap 9 here, and Wide Low Billy is our leader, ahead of T. Jonas, who's ahead of Farfborough, and then there's Icebolt in P4, Smelly Badger in P5, and Matey Boy in P6, SFR Linal in P7, and Sigurd in P8. Blasmark is in P9, and Blood and Sands rounds out the top 10 in 10th position. Outside of the top 10 is Alsan Senegal, but we will continue that if Farfborough tries to make a move on the championship leader in a minute. No, he doesn't. So then there's Racing Podge ahead of Devil's Armpit in P13, and then Just Mikey in P14. Invader Zippo after an early collision with Dire Boost is in P15, and Dire Boost, the offender, oh, we don't know the offender, we're just assuming offender, is in P16. Here's Sigurd once more, trying to close up to Linel. AJ pulling the concentration face in the commentary box. What are you thinking, sir?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just I'm focused on the top four at the minute and just seeing how they do on the back of each other. Foster's getting very close to the last few corners on the back of T. Jonas. He's going for a move up the inside now. Is he going to late brake?
He span him.
No,
he span him.
On the back of him. He's gone into the side of him, and that's caused the side pod to just be nudged and for him to go around there. He's going to try and overtake him again. Honestly, I think he should be handing that position back to him and then having another run at him. But
I think arguably you could say, as a lot of drivers pull into the pit lane, arguably you could say that he did hand it back when he didn't overtake when T was spinning. But I think
getting stuck while other drivers come in while he's in the pit lane.
Toro also pulling at the wrong time. I tell you what, here comes Farfber again on T. Jonas. T. Jonas is going to be thinking, okay, be a little bit more conservative now on the tyres. As Farfber almost spins it dirty air, blasting the Red Bull like a hairdryer in the face.
Yeah, T. Jonas just seeming to lose momentum more than the other guys. Icebolt now up to second. Foster looking like he could get past him.
You go that wide, I don't think you can. I think that Havler's tyres are starting to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it.
We'll have a look and see if the Sauber mechanics are going to make a move in the pit lane. Doesn't look like they are right now. I think they should be. I think he must be thinking it because look, he's dropped back quite a margin to Icebolt and Icebolt passed him anyway, and Billy himself.
It is starting to look a bit brighter, I think, outside. It is starting to. It feels like it is going to stop raining at some point soon. While Foster goes straight into the back of T. Jonas there.
5 second stop and go penalty for severe collision with T. Jonas, and I think, you know what, I think that's deserved.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say there's malice in that one, not in the slightest. But I think that you couldn't get slowed down further enough, and you're following a car that closely, you know. You know what's going to happen, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just been informed that the idea was to stop who's dropping in Sector 3. It's Racing Podge. No, it's not. Who is it? Not sure what happened there. But I've been informed the strategy for this race was pitting every 9 laps for fresh rubber, and that was a 2-stop. But it seems that it'd be interesting with a dry. It doesn't look like the dry position is coming yet, does it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Being a wet to dry race, you would have thought that the wet would start to have given up at some point soon. It does look a bit lighter in the back end of the track, but yeah, no doing at the minute.
This is a very long track, obviously. Hello to Huggable Panda. Hello, Jade. Welcome to the stream. And this is the wet weather in France that normally Britain gets. Is this foreshadowing for Silverstone later on in the season? Here is Podge trying to go down the inside of the McLaren side by side, and Mikey's just trying to edge him out. Oh, look at that! A good move, enough to knock Mikey out of the position. Smelly Badger has repassed Farfborough, and Smelly Badger seems to be in a good position to fight T. Jonas. A lot of rear sliding from the Renault, so that almost felt like it was locking there as you watched it.
Yeah, I think Smelly Badger must have stopped a little bit earlier.
Oh, Glasmack!
But,
trying to see. Go on.
Yeah, due to Smelly Badger stopping a bit earlier, I think he's been able to do the undercut and gained a few more seconds back towards Farfborough and T. Jonas.
Yellow flags in operation in Sector 3. No look on where the Haas was, though, as the Devil's Armpit is now the fastest person on track. He is in P8 right now. He's following Sigard, who is notoriously difficult to pass in these conditions right now.
I don't know, he seems to have lost it going through one of the long right-handers, but I don't know where he would have lost it.
Unless it was deliberate.
Unless he crashed himself out, yeah.
Which would be a shame, and if he has done it, that will be looked at and be a penalty by the stewards. You don't want that at all, and it's not a good look, really, is it? Anyway, Sigard's got it a little bit wrong as the Ferrari starts to follow on behind him. And is the Ferrari, as the Devil's Armpit, able to pass it? The 666s on his car. And Sigard pulling defensively. And the Devil's Armpit thinking, nah, you know what, I'm going to stay back here for a bit.
Yeah, the best thing is sort of they're out the man starting to just look its head up, keep frustration to a minimum and just keep concentration to a maximum and just out the fast laps that you can without causing any issues or doing anything miraculous.
I'm going to say yes, because nothing... I don't think I heard anything of that conversation there. But while no Billy is the fastest man on track, Sector 2, there's another yellow flag. I'm not sure who that will be. There seems to be... It looks like Podge. Podge is gone. Something's happened with Podge along the straight. Yellow flags even further ahead. No, it is Podge by the looks of it. It seems he must have span up something of a treat. Here's Smelly Badger once more, the Renault, the other Renault, trying to go for 4th place. And T. Jonas is sat there. And look at that. Look who's going a lot quicker right now. It's Invader Zippo, who's done 10 laps on his tyres. Oh, Zippo's lost it!
I know you say that.
No!
Curse to the commentator, and he's out. I can't believe that. He's gonna be so annoyed.
He's gonna message me in a minute and call me every name under the sun, isn't he?
That is absolute curse to the commentator right there.
And I am resigning from commentary live on stream. I leave you in Mr. Bentley's capable hands, and I'm gone. I need to get out this circuit and blacked out windows, so Toro Rosso could be hunting me.
Yeah, totally.
Lee's got it wrong now, and Blood and Sands pulls down the inside. I can't get over the giggle. Blood and Sands passes Lee now. Is he going to be quicker in the braking zone? No. Lee pulling to the inside, and Blood and Sands, it slips straight ahead in the number 15 car, able to do better. And I really should. The blacked out windows. I think the car's being prepared. I've got my bodyguards all here as well.
Yeah, it might be like bulletproof or bomb-proof even.
Lee now, though, gets back past Blood and Sands off stream, and so I'm trying to compose myself, and I don't think it's ever going to happen after that. I don't think I'm ever going to have a better moment as a commentator than actually cursing someone.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I hope he hasn't yelled loud enough to wake up Jensen. That would be a pain if he's woken up Jensen.
I'm sure he smacked the steering wheel a few times in anger. I mean, I would.
What, with your bad hand? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've got a bad hand. You don't realise.
For no other reason other than he smacks his steering wheel very hard.
Yeah.
Every night.
That just sounds inappropriate for some reason.
Think about it, Mr. Bentley. Think about what I'm alluding to. I couldn't quite mention gear sticks because you have flappies.
Yeah, that's true. I do love a good flappy.
Favre gets a times penalty, adding on to his already a million. Go on board with him as well as I say that. I need to stop.
Yeah.
I'm watching my phone, waiting for the message saying I don't like you.
Yeah. This is a kind of consistent at each other. 6th place, kind of doing this exactly the same pace. Ooh, is Farfur just losing it a little bit? Managed to keep it in check, but coming out of that fast right-hander, he nearly completely ditched it like Zippo did a lap ago.
The 69 car seems to be performing very well, but he's running it very high on that curve there, and you don't want to run it. You don't really want to touch any curves in these conditions at all.
No, absolutely not. You want to be careful when you're going flat through certain corners as well, because it's flat in the dry, but it may not necessarily be flat in the wet.
It's almost like some corners you have to brake in the middle of as well in the wet, or lift off a little bit. Sometimes at turn 1 at Spa is particularly notorious for that.
Turn 1
But
at Spa,
still.
turn 2.
Turn 1, turn 2, you know. Sector 2, yellow flags. I am not sure who that is. It's no one that we can see on the screens. Here's the Devil's Armpit, who's a few miles ahead of everyone else. But Matey Boy in all of his madness has pitted, and 8 seconds now is the separation between Icebolt and Billy. And Billy, that Williams, seems to be having a good run tonight. I tell you what, though, it's not letting up raining. It's going to be a late dry period if it is dry at all.
Yeah, come on, dryness. Come on, stop raining.
I'm not going to say the joke that I was about to say there. I'm not going to say it because I'm a good boy and I'm well behaved.
And you're live on stream.
Yes, that too. Smelly Badger is looking at the inside of T. Jonas right now. He's 2 tenths behind T. Jonas, losing the rear end just a bit. And it seems that, I tell you what, that must be frustrating for a driver. Just see the words Alfa Romeo in that script after about 4 million laps behind him. He's must be thinking, for God's sake, car, you got something in you to overtake.
Yeah, it's incredible how close all these guys are without getting close enough to overtake. It just shows how consistent all their paces are, but also how much of a feeling they're getting from sitting in someone else in 30, yeah.
Podge has made a mistake in Sector 3. Where is that? Yellow flags on the start finish straight, but more importantly is his teammate Smelly Badger lining up a move on the Sauber. Sauber going defensive. Podge has left the session. It must have been a move deciding I don't want to race anymore, but T. Jonas decides to brake just a little bit later, enabling himself to stay ahead and still be on the podium, but not for long by the looks of it. Smelly Badger getting a better run, rear end slipping on the Sauber, and he's going to go for a dive bomb or try and unsettle the Sauber, a style of driving that another driver would very much enjoy. I can't remember who that person is, but I know someone else does it in the league.
Careful, because you've got to concentrate, because as soon as Smelly tries to make a move, if it fails on T. Jonas, he falls back into the clutch as the Farfa behind him.
Raging Bull lining up.
Farfa might have him here.
I think he's got him. Lee now losing a position to Devil's Armpit, and there he goes, passing down.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's very wet down here, isn't it? Look at that. The track ever evolving, and by the looks of it, it's still getting wetter. Devil's Armpit letting Lee through, so that must have been a collision. But in all of that madness, he's let Blood and Sands through as well. And he was thinking, I didn't want to do that. As Farfa got the run on T. Jonas.
Devil's Armpit, it looks like he's really struggling at the minute.
Has he cooked his tyres? He's been on the tyres the longest set for Dire Boost down in P11. P13, sorry.
Wide Load Billy, as we talk about everyone else, Wide Load Billy's just seemed to manage to have pulled away from Ice Bolt quite a bit. 9.2 seconds the gap for the lead now.
It's very interesting because Billy seems to have some immense pace around this track, and it'd be interesting to see where he's getting all this pace from. Because he just seems to be consistently right in these conditions. He seems to enjoy the wet. He must be some wonder kid like Lance Stroll in the wet, because Lance is not bad in the wet.
I mean, I can't really comment on Lance.
Anywho,
I'm just not going to say anything.
T. Jonas in the Salvers, I try and talk over him, because you know the Force India boy. I'm sorry, what? T. Jonas is lining up a move on Icebot. Icebot's tyres seem to be just graining that little bit as he's spinning. Pulls to the right, already defensive. Obviously, there's no real racing line, and the line is not forming. There's no dry line forming at all because it's so wet, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you can see a little bit of black, but...
Sorry, that was him running on the curb.
Oh, okay.
But here we go!
You can see a little bit of black.
Take us through this move, mate! Because here comes Farfa!
Offline, going through the quick right-hander. He's just got to back off the throttle a little bit as he goes through the corners, but he's neck and neck with T. Jonas. A little bit, got his nose in front, and T. Jonas backs out and lets him have it. And now he's under attack from Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger going up the inside, going into this section of corners, got his nose pushed in, but he cuts that corner, and T. Jonas gets a better run out of that corner. Smelly Badger all the time, just on the back of him, seeing if he can sniff a move. You get it? He's a badger.
Yeah. The honey badger joke continues on, but this time he isn't smelling a move, he's making one. He's going round and aiming to move past him. This could be the final nail in T. Jonas's coffin, but no, T's got the straight line speed, and that is going to frustrate the Renault a lot. That Ferrari power unit in the back.
T. Jonas down the straight just seems to have a lot more pace from the wings he's running. But also being able to defend the move completely before Smelly even had a chance to make it.
So frustrating, and you see that, I think it's, apart from that little contest at the end, that was probably move of the day from Farfborough, as everyone seems to be getting a little bit more spread out. We can start talking as you're watching T. Jonas and Smelly Badger coming off track and coming back on and gaining a lot of time from that move. It seems that it was just a mistake though. He's still trying to unsettle Jonas, still trying to get a dive bomb in there, or trying to make you think there's a dive bomb coming, isn't he?
And I've noticed that Ice Bolt is closing in on Wide Load Billy. He's reduced the gap to 7.7 seconds. It was 9.1 a couple of laps ago. Yeah,
maybe Billy made a mistake. Oh, like Smelly Badger just did. But the Renault able to keep it going, and Farfborough finding his feet in these conditions once more. It seems to be more confident. Though it's happened. It's stopped raining.
It has indeed.
At least in this sector. It's nowhere near dry tyres yet.
No, I think give it a few more laps to get to let the. But you can see wide load Billy running offline, not on the black stuff. In the on the left-hand side of the track there, he's running over on the right, which means that his tyres are getting a bit too hot for the weather.
It is happening now. This is a dry period. The last, what are we at? Less than 10 laps, about 8 laps to go.
It's going to be a shootout to the line. I reckon ultra soft for the end of the race, but when to put them on? That's going to be the question.
It definitely will be. And Sigurd pulls in. Is this the move? Much too early, surely. Surely McLaren won't do it yet.
Yeah, I think Sigurd's called that a little bit too early.
No, he's on Inters.
Another lap up here.
Inters and a new nose.
Yeah, he must have just run out of tyres, or he must have just wanted to hit and fix his front wing.
Look at that, Farfborough starting to drop back, and the pace he had in the wet seems to be dissipating just a little bit, and T. Johnson's going to be thinking, okay, a podium's still on the charge here, I'm only 2 seconds behind everyone. And just moving back onto an earlier joke, I have received a very long message from Invader Zippo, and it just involves a lot of angry faces, so I'm not going to open the message yet.
Yeah, I've got one of those as well. I think he's been sending them to everybody.
Ice Bolt has lost it. Sector 3. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Billy?
No, Billy's alright. Billy's still in the lead. Ice Bolt had a bit of a moment. He seems to be losing the traction on his rear tyres. Maybe he's just overheated them slightly. But Fothbert is getting ever so close.
That Red Bull has got his red line hammering it. He's absolutely hammering that rev limiter, isn't he?
He's getting very close as well. You know, he's almost touching the back of that Mercedes.
Oh, it's not enough though, is it? Just Mikey has pitted for Ultrasoft though, so the Ultrasofts are on a car on the track. Is it going to be a Danny Rick dive bomb? No, not yet for the man running Max Verstappen's car.
Just making that first and second corner as straight as possible. An Ice Bolt just letting him pass.
Ooh.
Was that a tactic?
That can't have been. I don't think it would have been. I think maybe as Matey Boy pulls into pit lane for the soft tyres. What if I'm going to... Oh, as Mikey loses it on the Ultra Softs.
Yeah, just Mikey was losing it just in front of these guys as well, so it's probably a good job that he stayed out of the way. These guys are fighting. But yeah, Ice Bolt just seems to have slowed down and let Farfborough through.
If he's cooked his tyres, maybe he's thinking my race isn't with him. Or he's quicker on the straights. Look at the gaining time he's made there.
Yeah, maybe if he can sit behind him, he might be able to cool down those rear tyres a little bit more than he has been able to.
Lienel on the super soft tyres, going for the bid of thinking it his championship. No, he's left the session. That's a lag out. And that is going to be drastic for the championship. T. Johnson might not be winning the race, but he's going to extend his lead nonetheless. And right now, Lee's not really in a position. If he can get back in, it'd be helpful. I sent him 2 invites personally, so hopefully he does.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds to Arsene Senegal behind him, but yeah, it's going to be a case of making sure that he can get back in that car sharpish.
Is he in the pit lane still? No, he's... What is happening with Lee's car?
He's just got his... Oh, what? It says he's in the pit lane, but he's not.
I don't know, he's been passed by Alsan.
That's not good.
It's not. Lee may be in a very bad position right now, but I think I spotted it worse. Lee has been disqualified for the session. Oh, no.
That's really not good.
That's not good. I think that as Diabush gets way out the way of Farfborough, I think that is going to be down to the game, and Lee is going to be frustrated with that one. So everyone's starting to get spread out a bit in this wet to dry period. I would start thinking about the dry tyres, the slick tyres, around about now.
Yeah, you can see at the minute the tyres, a little bit of spray is still just coming off the tyres every so often, which means it is still wet enough for these inter tyres, but as soon as that stops, they'll be straight in and getting them changed.
I would want to pit a little bit early, and while we have 5 seconds to just think about it, can we just quickly discuss the fact that Vietnam have announced their track in Formula 1, and I think it looks great.
I mean, that's incredible. It's really cool that Vietnam have been able to put forward an idea for the 2020 season, which will be really interesting.
Oh, it's not an idea, it's
yeah,
confirmed.
Well, it's confirmed, yeah, of course, but I suppose they've still got to make it. They've still got to make the track.
It's a street circuit.
They've got a few alterations to the tarmac that they need to make, but it is all but sealed, pretty much. Yeah, no, it looks really interesting. Bits of Suzuka, bits of Monaco, bits of Azerbaijan, even.
Yeah, those big long straights should be fantastic to see drag down there. Matey Boy and Sigurd getting close. Wide Low Billy blinks first and goes for the ultra soft tyres, I assume, with this many laps left. Matey Boy goes passed by Sigurd on the intermediate tyres. The intermediate tyres still got life as Lionel rejoins, but he is too late.
Yeah, Farfberg going into the pits as well. All of them sitting in the pit lane. T. Jonas carries on for another lap. He's still thinking that it's wet enough still for inters.
Alsan, his teammate, has already come in.
Yeah, let's see what Widelow's Billy's pace is like when he gets out and whether he gains or loses time over the course of this lap, to be honest.
Saw yellow flags. You see Sigurd having a big lag spike there. And Billy is 17 seconds behind. He's not hemorrhaging time, but he's not gaining it in the first sector yet. That is not a pit stop. That is not a pit. No matter what, Billy is in a net P1 right now.
Yeah, he's gone back to 18 seconds now, but he is losing time to T. Jonas in first place. Has he called it too early? I think 22 seconds is around a pit stop at France. It
should be. At Sector 1 we have a yellow. Sector 1 and 2 we have a yellow. I'm not seeing anyone's times hemorrhage right now.
Mikey is out. Just Mikey's off the track. He's on the ultra soft tyre, but he's completely lost it. Also, I've noticed Wide Load Billy's on the super soft tyres, and so is Ice Bolt, and Farfberg's gone for the ultra soft tyres instead.
I wonder if it's not ready for the ultra soft. There it is. That is the clue. Yeah. DRS has been enabled. It is dry tyre running, but maybe the ultra softs aren't ready yet. The temperature might not be ready for the purple tyres.
Yeah, you can see the time between Billy and T. Jonas is coming down now.
Yeah.
Under 17 seconds almost.
Salba in, yeah, Salba ready.
Now hemorrhaging time.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he's got to go for those ultra soft tyres and pray that they get switched on. We're on board with him now, coming down the pit lane.
Was losing time at the beginning, but now he's really gained it back.
Super soft tyres for the Salba. But he stopped. Why is he waiting? Lag. What's he going to be? He's going to be 5 seconds. No, he's got to pass Ice Bolt. That might be it. And Farfber. That, I think, is the end of his race bid for the lead, unless we have a late issue in this race.
Yeah. Extra lap just to see if he could find more time doing it that way, but unfortunately, I think he's just called it right.
Lot of lag coming off Sigurd. Sorry, I think I'm getting a lot of lag as well from AJ. Hopefully it's not me tonight. Devil's Armpit is the fastest man on track though with a 1:43.4.
I reckon that time's going to tumble in the next few minutes when the track really heats up.
Lee now saying not a clue what happened to you. Well, you'll have to watch back at the stream with that, because we did catch what happened on stream and it broke everyone's hearts because you were really pushing, mate. But Farfber has his ultra softs come into play yet, because he's still in the route to win, isn't he?
Yeah, he's closing up on Ice Bolt at the minute. It's just going to be a case of past Ice Bolt and how quickly you can get onto the back of Wide Load Billy. But he could absolutely win this on the ultra soft tyres.
Meanwhile, his teammate is defending well from Devil's Armpit, the second Ferrari in this race, and he's doing it absolutely magnificently. But here is Farfber once more. Diabush is the fastest man on track. Whoa, Ice Bolt! Big squeeze!
Can he get somewhere around the outside? He's got good traction going down the main straight. He's going to be right on the back of him. DRS open. And he's going down the outside into T1. Is he going to be able to late break it? He is. He's passed him into T1.
Ultra soft tyres into play now.
Yeah, more grip. And now he's going to be right on the back of Wide Load Billy. Hopefully he can get there before the end of the race.
He's got time. He's got, what, 5 laps left to go? 5 or 6 laps left to go?
4 to 7, 4 laps left.
5 laps if you include the one we're on now. So, Farfborough got his eyes on the prize, and he can do it. If he takes out a second a lap or more, he's well in it. But it's just as much catching him because he's got Icebolt coming down the inside. He's coming back at him. The Mercedes pulls to the inside and snatches a position back, going, nope, not going to make it that easy. The 23 number, ironically, 23 Mercedes. Oh, he's brake checked him.
I think Farfborough just got a better exit. I don't think Icebolt brake checked him there.
All right, there. Oh, that's collision, though.
No. That's close.
I think that has to be handed back. We're on board with Farfborough. That was a little bit of a kiss.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very nip and tuck. I think Farfborough's made that all right. It's just a bit of a scruffy overtake, but he'll probably take that.
So this is not helping T. Johnson. I'll tell you what, though, is helping. Just reminding you that Farfborough does have penalties.
Oh yeah, of course. 3 seconds.
I think he's got a little bit more than 3 seconds.
Oh, has he? Oh, right. I think the 3 seconds is the only one I've seen.
T. Jonas is the fastest man on track, but it's not enough. 3 laps to go. 3 to go here in France, and it seems that Billy is on for a good win and the first win for Williams in this season. Look at that. I think, I don't know. I don't know what's quicker right now because they all seem super quick on all these new tyres.
Yeah, definitely. Has Wide Load Billy won before in GP2?
No, he hasn't.
It seems like we'd have a different winner every time we come out. It's really unpredictable racing in this league.
Well, what do you think? There is definitely 6 seconds worth of penalties on Farfborough's name now.
Yeah.
This is not helping T. Jonas, though. He's still far back. He's not getting the time he needed. He's pitted too late. The strategy was wrong for Havler.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think he would have been better going onto the ultra soft tyres after that pit stop. But obviously thinking it is still quite cold and a bit wet, and the super soft would be the best tyres to have gone.
It seems that Farfborough's finally been able to break away, but has that been too late for him as well? Billy is the fastest man on track. Is Farfborough faster? He is. And this is going to go right down to it if you're not careful.
Faster than him. Icebolt's going to get overtaken by T. Jonas. Right on the outside, T. Jonas goes. Can he make it stick through turn 2? He can indeed. T. Jonas up to 3rd position and now onto the back of Farfborough.
Has T turned up the engine? Has he got enough fuel to go absolutely flying? As you see, Icebolt, he's just dropped back a little bit, but there's going to be DRS to play on the Mercedes. We know the Mercedes is very quick down that straight. Billy getting another time penalty. That could mean, if he has more than that, T. Jonas could still be in the set for the win on penalties.
Yeah, definitely. If he can get past Farfborough, he might actually have...
Bit of lag there from AJ. I do apologise.
Oh.
You're back, hello.
A bit, or am I back?
You're back, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. T. Jonas just seems to take that corner a bit wide in the middle of the back straight. But still hunting Farfborough down all the time. Farfborough going a little bit wide there. T. Jonas getting a lovely momentum run of that long right-hander.
He was teasing us. He has to have been teasing us with that pace earlier.
It just seems like he's so much more confident in the dry than he was in the wet. Farfborough on the ultra soft tyre as well. Ooh, and T. Jonas getting all kinds of on the back of Farfborough.
Look at my replay there to see what happened there. Oh, he went very deep on the corner there, didn't he? He's the fastest man on track. 3 seconds. If T can just get there. That is it. T. Jonas is going to win this race on penalties.
Yeah, it's very possible. Can he get past Farfborough? He's about to get alongside him there. He's just got to keep it clean to the end of the race, and he might have this.
No, he's gone! Ooh.
No, he's got it. He's just saved it. That was an amazing save from where he was. Pretty much full opposite lock going through that corner.
Is Havlor going to make it 2 this season, or is Billy going to make it 1? It's so unpredictable right now. Here's Billy. He's just come through the chicane, and I'm going nuts. Oh no, that's ambitious. No.
Oh, he's got a penalty. I can't believe it. Is Billy going to win now?
I don't know, because Billy's got 2 penalties. He's got 6.
But he's more than 3 seconds behind him. That's the only thing.
I don't
even know.
This is mad. I can't look at the chat. I've been trying to look at the admin chat in a minute. I can't, because right now this is complete madness. Who's on top as we're looking at Billy come around towards the final sector? He spun him!
He's caught him! He's caught him!
He's done it! Havlor has got to power up that fucking Alfa Romeo. Pardon my French, as I'm starting to break now. They're breaking me once more.
They're turning the final corner.
Billy wins! He wins on track. Has he won it on penalties? T. Jonas wins!
That's crazy.
From penalties, I spot second, Billy 4th. From finishing on the podium, he's pushed down on penalties. And that, Smelly Badger in 3rd place. Oh, the madness.
I can't even believe that. That's crazy.
Pardon my French about midway through that. I think they broke me. That's almost as bad as when they broke me in commentary last week in Premier, because they did. Blood and Sands of the Devil's Armpit finishing 7th and 8th. Sigurd after a tough race in P9, and look at that. Salworth bookended the top 10. Oh, I need to lie down now, but I can't, because we've got Premier coming up in just a few minutes. Oh, that was immense, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a really good race. I really enjoyed that. They were so close for such a long time in that race. Through all the intermediate running, for like 10, 15 laps, they were literally all within a second of each other, and they just managed to not get frustrated, just keep consistent, keep ahead, and then it all just started to kick off as soon as the dry tyres came in.
It definitely did. So T. Jonas is lining stuff up. And that is his 2nd win of the season. And that proves that T. Jonas is back, and he is not letting this championship go. It looked for a while that he had maybe lost that special touch, but it's back, and the Norwegian celebrates. And we'll have a chat, Ice, in a moment about that off stream. But yes, that is fantastic to see him back up on the top step of podium. And there we go. Havlor up there. Alright, so there it is. T. Jonas in P1 ahead of Icebolt in P2 and Smelly Badger in P3, the only man without a penalty in the top 3. Farfborough in P4 ahead of Widelow Billy in P5, Matey Boy in P6 and Devil's Armpit in P7. Blood and Sands in P8 and Sigurd finishing where he started in P9. Alsan in P10. Outside of the top 10 was Diaboosh and Just Mikey. The drivers who did not finish the race were Podge, Zippo, Blasmark, Pasley, Spark Bobset and Linal, who was disqualified for parking in an unsafe location. But, you know, it was a brilliant race. And right now, I have to say, I'll just message you in a bit about that. But yes, it was a brilliant race. And I'll tell you what, I think that might be our first 10 out of 10 of the season. That was absolutely 10 out of 10 material, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good race. And look at Widelow Billy, 25 seconds, getting 6 different penalties at different points of that race. But yeah, it was a very difficult, tricky race to get right from the wet to dry, and also getting a good lap in before it turned wet in qualifying as well.
It was a fantastic race. So next week in GP2 we'll be heading off to Austria. The hills are alive with the side of V6 turbos, and we will be enjoying a lot more The Sound of Music puns next week. AJ, thank you, and hopefully we'll see you back here for Austria next week.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
See if Mr. Bentley can tear himself away from Blanchpan long enough. Had to get one more in.
I'm making a habit of this, turning up on commentary night.
Oh well. So next week, Austria. If you're not joining us for the Premier Division that will be starting in just a few, I will see you next week. If you are joining us for Premier, well, I'll see you in a minute. My name is JB. This has been AJ. I didn't have to tie him up this time because he actually walked in. Thank you again for joining us, sir.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Right. If I'm seeing you in a few, I'll see you in a few. If I'm seeing you till next week, where are you in a few? See you later, guys.